wish to be strong, self-confident, independent, and healthy, but we're not born that way. It is something we hope to develop over time. If you want to give a girl a head start, keep watching today's show. Hi, I'm Jen Maseda, your host of Woman to Woman Today, where we talk to inspiring women who are helping other women reach their full potential. Today, our guest is a very special guest, Erin Mahoney. Erin is the founder and creator of Girl Power Go, an empowerment program for girls ages 7 to 14. She's an author and has over 29 years of experience in the health and fitness industry. She's also a veteran, having served in the United States Air Force. Erin will be a panelist during the upcoming Metro West Conference for Women, speaking during a girl empowerment panel as well. And she's also a gold level exhibitor sponsor at the conference, where you'll be able to pick up Girl Power Go program materials and products. So thank you so much for being with us, Erin.
Thank you, Jen. I'm so excited to be here today. So this is really fun, and talking about Girl Power Go. And
you are so passionate about girl empowerment. How did that begin? Because it oozes out of you. Like, it's a message that you feel so strongly you have to share.
It does. It's a message that I do feel like I have to share. And so I grew up in a house with a single mom, and my mom was a single mom from the time that I was about 2.5. My sister was 5. So there's a lot of girl power there. She raised us completely alone, but always telling us you can do anything you set your mind to. And then cut to 6 or 7 years ago, my niece was only in the 1st grade and was having problems with girls, if you can imagine that. So certainly, grew up with a strong sense of self, but, decided to go in the military. I was 17 years old. My mom had to sign for me. And that's a fun little story about, I think, why. I think, ironically, the reason I went into the service was because of my lack of confidence, in that I was terrified of college. And so for whatever reason, I thought, well, I'll just go in the military, which is a little nuts. And I think it was 1987, and Top Gun had just come out, and I think I thought everyone was like Tom Cruise. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. Sign me up for that. The ratio was 27 to 1. So I was like,
oh
perfect.
My gosh. I did not know that story.
Yes,
that's hilarious.
True. It's a true story. So I'm so
they're
glad
all playing volleyball without their shirts on, and then,
right.
I'm
How
sure
hard
that
could it
happened.
be? How hard could it be?
It can't be.
Yes, it was nothing like that.
Yeah.
My nickname was Hollywood. That's also true. I think they saw me coming. I had my same crazy curly hair, but there was a lot more of it, and I went in with a jean mini skirt and red high heel pumps. So enter girl power.
But that's funny that you say it was really about a lack of confidence, because someone that has the gumption to sign up for the United States Air Force, okay, maybe you had a different perception of what the Air Force was going to be.
Right.
But showing up in your jean skirts and your red high heels, I want to say you were born with something. You just needed to, right?
Yes.
Something needed to turn that key.
No doubt. And I think it was, I never had a problem entering a room. And I also do feel like I'm passionate about being loving and kind. And so I think when you put those things together, things did fall into place. And so even though there are situations I'm fiercely loyal, I love to be competitive, but not competitive in an aggressive way. Competitive in always pushing myself and teaching others to do that. It's if you get to the top by yourself, it's no fun. So I want to take a lot of people with me, and in everything that I do. And so I love coaching and motivating, and that's really my passion. And so with Girl Power Go, my niece had a need. And so these girls were teasing her. They were calling her a tomboy, and she didn't like it. So we talked about it. She was very shy, and so she didn't want to take the bus anymore, and she was really struggling. And so I talked with her and said, Gabby, just get on that bus and tell those girls to stop that, which she did. And then that did not work out as I had hoped. And so it continued. And so I needed to go on a mission and figure out, give this some more thought and really look at it. And I came across a t-shirt that said, I am not a tomboy, I am an athlete. And she was a fierce athlete, and that was part of the nickname that she earned. And so she put that shirt on, and we got her to give the bus one more try, and everything changed. because I taught her, and I don't even know if I realized at the time, to own her power and stand in her light. And when she had it on her chest, they couldn't hurt her anymore, and they couldn't make fun of her. And so that was just the small spark that lit this huge fire inside of me, and it just grew from there.
Yeah.
You know, people heard about what I was doing. I have a fitness background, and so I was taking positive thinking. I've always been a positive thinking and studied behaviors and things like that with life skills, and then I always put a fitness component. And those three things have proven over the last 7 years to really empower girls, and we do women's programs too, but it's, you know, it starts there. We're all girls inside. I had a woman one time, I have a superhero that's part of my logo, and someone said, why is it a woman? You know, you teach girls, but I'm still a girl. And we all need to be reminded that we are powerful and valuable.
Right. And the message that we share with girls is so influential in their lives that if we ourselves are not considering ourselves, you know, powerful and are owning our own powerful self, how are we then able to share that message?
Right. And I think
girls?
Walking the walk is a huge part of it. And I think some of the really fun but interesting things that evolved in this program, so it's really an 8-week program that I was doing in schools. Started off really in Hopkinton. I had a lot of friends there that were gave me a chance to work with Girl Scouts and things. And then as I developed more classes, it fit into the extracurricular after-school programming. And now we're on and off. We've touched about 23 towns. And, you know, we do everything from, you know, first grade, it's the empowerment piece, nutrition, the importance of rest, how to be a good friend, all of these things that we think we should just know, but we don't. Yeah. How would they know? You know, and
so
teaching girls to love their body at every stage. It doesn't matter, you know, especially for my middle school girls, we do a preparing for middle school and moving through middle school, and it doesn't matter what the size of your jeans are or how good you are at a certain sport or what the scale says or any of it. Those things don't tell you how amazing you are, what a good friend you are, a good sister, a good daughter, you know. And so, so teaching girls to love themselves from the inside out. And then they grow into really great leaders and women that know that in our darkest, weakest moment, we are valuable and worthy and powerful. That's kind of my motto.
I just love that.
In our darkest, weakest, you know. We don't get to say, you stink or you're not enough.
Right.
You are always enough. Your best is always enough.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing to me to see the transformation. So my niece now has gone on, you know, she's a sophomore. I can't believe she's going to be driving soon. I just was her sponsor for her confirmation. And I was
congratulations.
Yes, thank you. She's growing along with my boys. I, comically enough, have 2 boys. And people always say that. How old are your girls? I don't have girls.
No.
I live in a house of boys.
That's right.
But, you know, just seeing all of these girls, if girls run up to me, you know, whether it's at the hockey rink or at the baseball field, and their parents have, you know, things to say about how they've carried these lessons. You know, I give them an activity with each class, things like positive affirmations on sticky notes, and I tell them to, you know, put those in your room, read them every day before, you know, put them at your nightstand or, you know, by your bed. Read them every night before your head hits the pillow and every morning before your feet hit the floor, you know, and things like I am strong and worthy and enough. And then, so we do a self-portrait at the beginning at week 1.
Okay.
And I have many girls, and there was a story behind that. I actually couldn't read in the first grade, really, really struggled. And my mom, thank goodness, took me to a summer program, and they really worked with me. And I thought it was foolish. They blindfolded us, and made us draw lines. I think it was like brain gym before anyone knew about brain gym, excuse me.
Yeah.
But anyway, so now that I'm an author of 2 books, I'm like, woohoo, you know? And if that inspires girls, I felt embarrassed and stupid and humiliated and all these things. I would just hope that no one would call on me to read out loud, I remember. And so I tell the girls all those things, you know, and women too. And then it lets them know that we can really, you can achieve anything.
You're so relatable.
You just keep working, right? You just keep working and doing your best, and your best is enough. You know, but so now Gabby, you know, she's a thriving 10th grader, and, you know, she's still a great athlete, and she, you know, but she's now the kid. I also teach girls, it's important for you to help others. It's our responsibility. Do the right thing when no one else does. Stick up for yourself, but stick up for others. She's that kid. And just, I know hundreds of kids like that say, oh, Mrs. Mahoney, I thought about what we talked about in class. You know, why it's important to be trustworthy and to be kind and give people the benefit of the doubt. And now it doesn't mean you're a doormat, but it means that, you know, I'm going to find that balance. And then teaching girls when others aren't nice, how do we handle that? What are the strategies? But when I was in the program and I couldn't really read, they had me draw a self-portrait. And then it was 10 weeks later, I drew another self-portrait. And so I incorporated that in my class, because what happened to me and to hundreds of girls that have gone through my program is that I drew myself like the size of a peanut. And then at the end of the program, your head doesn't fit on the page. Girls draw their braces, and that was me. And that is the evidence.
Yeah.
That's the
you
proof.
begin to love every piece of yourself, and you're able to draw it and see it and embrace it.
Right. And we give them
feel
very
empowered.
little instructions. It's amazing how you can almost see inside of kids' heads, you know, and see how what's their view of themselves. Or they'll draw trees and animals and all of these other peripheral things, and then in the end, it's just them, and they're bigger and brighter, and that's amazing work.
Well, you're doing amazing things, and we're going to learn more about the program itself and some of the services that you provide. You talked a little bit about that, but there's so much more to cover. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, Erin's going to share her most successful empowerment strategies with us. So keep watching. Welcome back. We're speaking with Erin Mahoney, the founder and creator of Girl Power Go. So Erin, when we left for break, we were talking about some of the programs that you do, in particular the weeks that you have young girls and what you're doing with them week to week. But let's pull back a little bit and tell me what the program is. How do people sign up? I mean, let's talk about the nitty gritty of how to get to you, how to get to these amazing books, which are resources that every parent of any gender child should read. Because as you said, this is not just for girls. This is also for teaching parents how to be better parents for their children, but also if you're mentoring, because I feel like even if you have a child in your life and you are an influencer, you have to be mindful of that. You've got to do a little bit of research so that you can change your behavior, which will then make for a better mentorship opportunity too.
Absolutely. So, you know, to get into the school systems and things like that, sometimes that's a little bit tricky, but people can go to girlpowergo.com, reach right out to me and my team. We work with anyone that will have us, wherever we can find space, because we just want to spread this work. So we've done it in churches. We do a lot of work through Girl Scouts, troops and things like that. We work with Parks and Recs, PTAs. Sometimes it's directly through the school system. Typically, we reach out and try to figure out what the after-school programming is. Not necessarily like the after-school club, you know, from after school till 5 o'clock, pick up that sort of thing. Although we do teach in those arenas, those kids are always invited, but almost as like the extracurricular arena. And so whether it's, you know, the after school, it's right in there with karate and basketball or whatever else they have going on. And I loved what you said, Jen, about it's any gender. And, you know, men, women, girls, boys, this evolved into girl power because my niece had a need.
Right.
And I have that sense of self and empowering women and had been doing that for years.
Yeah.
But certainly the life lessons are the same, and the kids have the same struggles. You know, what do I do? You know, we have a class called The Problem with Three. And what do I do with that? You know, sometimes it's the person that's caught in the middle, and sometimes, you know, that everybody wants, but then also it's that person feels uncomfortable because they don't know how to handle the other two friends and they don't want to hurt anyone.
That's great.
And it's common with boys or girls.
That happens.
No, but
it's great that there's a resource to be able to explain it and to
and
let
to
you know that you're okay and give strategies. That you
give
can walk
strategies.
through it.
And even mom and dad, you know, your child comes home and they're upset, something happened at school, and a lot of times you're at a loss for how do I handle this. And I think, you know, we talk a lot about bullying and things like that in schools, which we need to do. And social media is a whole other piece. But the difference with the program is that I really believe we bring it back to loving kindness. That's where we need to start. When we see something, certainly you need to act upon that, and you shouldn't let those things happen. And I tell kids, as long as you feel safe, you know, if not, go get an adult. But the bottom line is teaching kids how to be open-minded and have an open heart, and so that you can accept and care about kids of all different religions and races and beliefs and gender and all of that. You know, we're all people. You know, our heart beats the same. And to be more accepting.
And you know, you mentioned something when you were talking about the program, that you were filling a gap for your niece, who is doing great.
she's that
because
girl.
of she's
Now,
that girl
we want her to be. You know?
Right.
We
yeah. So I think that people need to understand that that's what an entrepreneur is, right? That you see this gap and you figure out how to fill it, because you tried to have a conversation with her and you tried to, help her to get back on the bus, and maybe, again, you took a risk, you put some information out there, it wasn't that successful to begin with, and then you thought, oh, heck, if my messaging is not working, other people probably need the same level of assistance and the same level of guidance. So you created this entire program structure.
Right.
And it's different because there are program structures out there that are about lifting girls, and I think the missing component is what you say, the loving and the giving of self and to others. But then the health and fitness piece. I feel like there's a lot of health and fitness programs that get girls on the go.
Right, sure. Like Girls on the Run is a great program. I talked to the owner of that, and people will say often,
she's coming to the conference too.
Oh, fantastic. And what's different, right?
Yeah.
What makes our program different? The difference is, for me, I had a background where I had many different fitness, certifications and things. So we do kickboxing, we do yoga, and I feel like not one type of fitness. So if a girl doesn't like to run, in other words, and that's certainly not, this work is big, and we all need to do this work, and they're doing an incredible job. But if you have a girl that doesn't run, doesn't love it, right? She's either not going to thrive in that program, she's going to shut down, or she's not even going to sign up.
Right.
So with Girl Power, we want it to be diverse enough so girls with different interests can come in and they might find something new they love.
That's right.
I put music on all the time when we do our fitness. I bring hula hoops and jump ropes, and so we get them active. And we have a class called Brave and Courageous, and I talk about being like a warrior and doing the right thing, and we face paint them, which I personally love. I should do that in women's classes too. And we talk about being fierce and be like a warrior and be that kid that others want to follow because they know you have their back.
Yeah. And this program is not just within a group setting. Individuals can also purchase this for themselves as a workbook, which has great ideas and really fun activities to do alone. So the children can do it alone, but they can also do it with an adult. And there's a parent guide to go along with that. So this you can pick up on Amazon. Isn't it like #1 all over the place?
Yes. Yeah. So we within 6 hours of launching, we launched on the 12th of March, and we're so proud of it. I'm not even sure exactly how we did it, but we did it. We really worked hard, and we created a great book. So my vision was, okay, if someone can't get to our classroom, how do I help them? How do we bring this mission global? Like, serious.
You have to.
And that was big thinking. That's entrepreneur thinking, right?
Go.
People scoffed at me. They said, you're crazy. How are you going to do it? I spent 2 years writing the books. The vision is now a mom can buy the guidebook, or a single dad, or the whole family, and then they buy the workbook and they can do the program in their kitchen. A Girl Scout leader in Arizona can buy 1 guidebook and 15 workbooks, and now they can do the 8-week program if it serves them. So that was the vision. I actually got an email this week from a woman. Her husband just got relocated, and it said, welcome from Tokyo, Japan. And so we are going to collaborate. I said we will figure it out. She's already, so there's the ebook. So all of our books are on Amazon.
Love that.
We're also on barnesandnoble.com. We're on iTunes Books. We've widened our platform. We are in 3 Barnes and Nobles right now. We should be in Framingham in the next month. Framingham, Barnes and Noble. We're in Walpole, and we're in Bellingham.
That is so exciting.
We're just, I went to New York.
It's in the belief of your mission.
Right. I went to New York, and I ran around there for 2 days. We covered the whole city. We draped the girl that's the fearless girl in a Girl Power Go tank top.
Love that.
So we're doing social media too, because we want to share this mission.
Right.
It's bigger than me, and it's going to take a lot of people, but I'm growing my team and trying to just get it everywhere.
You are. And you're not just doing this. You're also doing a Discovering Women's Strength and Power as well. So tell us about that program.
So it's called Discovering Developing Strong Women. So
Sorry, I just renamed it for you. Sorry about
Well,
that.
and I have a program. Typically, they do a class that's kind of like a girls' night out. It's called Discover the Power of You.
Oh, okay.
And that's like a 10,000-foot view, I guess you would say. And then many women, I just give them a flavor. And so if they feel like it resonates with them, we do energy work versus in Girl Power, we do kickboxing and some of those other things I mentioned. In the women's group, we do visualization, we do vision boards. I'm big on, visualize what you want and what you want your life to look like.
Right.
And each week we have a topic, and then we do energy work. So it's everything from self-love, the power of forgiveness. We start with self, forgiving yourself, and then forgiving others. Women have said we need more weeks. We mean like 4 weeks for that block.
Yes.
And then the power of letting go and goal setting.
Yeah.
But so that's a 6-week program that I just absolutely love. And it really grew organically because I had moms and educators and all these people I was working with saying, we need this for us.
Right.
Again,
there's that gap, and you are
gap.
saying, and women are coming to you all the time. I see it in everything that we're doing. They're like, Erin, you got to help me.
And I love that. And I want to,
Well,
so
you're
we're
good at it. You're
Thank
awesome
you.
at it. So we'll be right back. We're going to hear more from Erin in one moment. So keep watching. Welcome back to Woman today. We're speaking with Erin Mahoney about developing strong girls and strong women as well. So when we left, we were talking a bit about your new women's program, but I want to get back to the girls and what are some of these strategies within the program, but also just within the book that individuals can pick up. So you're going to be at the Metro West Conference for Women on September 13th and 14th. You're on one of the amazing panels that I will definitely be sitting in on to be able to hear you and the other panelists, because it's all about the messaging that you give to girls and young people. Again, it's all messaging, whether it's for a girl or whether it's for a boy. It's all about developing a successful young person, right?
Right.
So that they become successful leaders in the future.
Right. And I think some of the biggest, the strategies that I try to use and implement that are in the books or in any of our programs that anyone takes is that we're trying to tear down the stereotyping too, that our society, media, and things like that has everything out there that's not even real. We're airbrushing people. We're telling them they should fit into this box. And I try to really break all that down and say that's not true. Go against that. Do what makes you feel wonderful and love yourself at every stage, especially with young people. I teach them that your body is changing, your friends are changing, your interests are changing. Open heart and open mind. And then also, for them to realize that they have a responsibility to, I think, really to help others in society. Kids, they don't have jobs and they don't make money, but I teach them, how can you help in your school? How can you help in your family? How can you help in your community? Your time is so valuable.
Yeah.
Give your time. And teaching kids how good that feels. That's a big life lesson.
Right.
We do a loving kindness chapter that's in the book, but also that we teach in the classroom. And that whole purpose of that class is to talk about paying it forward. Maybe did anyone ever have a parent that bought a coffee for the person behind them? You always hear that analogy. Or I have them do a card and I say, it can't be a birthday, it can't be an anniversary. Maybe thank mom and dad because they got up a little early and they made you really awesome waffles today. Yeah. And it sounds silly, but it's teaching kids about gratitude.
Gratitude. I love that.
Gratitude, appreciation, and responsibility.
Right.
I think those are huge parts of the foundation of this program, and about teaching kids to grow into really wonderful human beings.
Yeah. And what's funny is everything that you've mentioned, and we said this in the first segment, it's really logical. I mean, you just
very logical,
right?
It's not rocket science.
But it's not anything that you have been taught unless your parents modeled it. They didn't necessarily sit down with you. You were around the same age,
right?
So
you're nice. I'm
no,
older. Way. It's okay.
But listen, they didn't have these types of books.
Right.
Our parents,
no,
right? So they were just taught by their own parents, and they either selected what they learned or they didn't select what they learned, and then they pass that on to us. But what you're doing is making it easier to be a parent in this environment right now.
Right.
I think that you are. You absolutely are. But you're also making it easier for kids to be a kid that's going to be a successful
right.
kid.
And I think a big part of that too, what I bring to the classroom and I try to bring to my family and people I work with, excuse me, is also that it's okay and actually very important to make mistakes. But what do we do when we make a mistake? Teaching kids, take responsibility. Don't make the second mistake. And maybe that sounds old-fashioned, we've heard that. But really teaching kids how good it feels to own their actions and to say, you know, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings, or I'll do better next time. Teaching them that once words leave your mouth, you can't take them back. Even if you say sorry, it's a little bit, things are a little bit, you know, altered, and that's okay, but helping other people to forgive. You know, a lot of times in our society, we're about what's in schools, what's the consequence? You know, even for the older kids, you're going to lose prom, or you're going to lose this, or you can't have this privilege or that privilege. And I get that. We need to do those things, but it's also really important to get kids to understand how can we do better, and why do we want to do better, and what does it feel like when someone shows me grace?
Right.
You know, giving ourselves grace.
I think too, what you're doing is giving them strategies, and then you're working with them to practice those strategies, because you can strategize all day long, and if it's not comfortable for you to do those, you know, we talked about receiving. As women, we need to receive messages, because we're always giving. Let's receive those messages and then be able to internalize them and feel better about, like, you look great. You know, those kinds of simple messages. Yes, exactly.
Right.
And if you don't practice that, like practicing being kind, practicing health and fitness, practicing the empowerment of self, those things take practice.
Every day. I always say that for myself personally, I'm always in the practice. You know, that's how it sounds nice to me. That's how it makes me feel good. And so I'm in this practice of self-care and self-love and forgiveness. And I make huge mistakes. One of your questions, I think, might have been about what's your biggest mistake. I don't know. I don't want to think about it. But mistakes are to teach.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
And so sometimes,
they teach you something.
right,
Yeah.
they always do. And I think people arrive where they're supposed to, but sometimes we lose our way. So.
Yeah. Well,
I love what I do. I feel very lucky to do this work.
You are amazing in this work, and we're grateful that you're doing this work, because you're changing girls' lives, but you're also changing women's lives, and you know that's very important to me as well. So
thank you.
I'm so grateful that you're here.
Thanks. I am too, Jen. Thanks for having me, because it's really important work, and it's bigger than me. So the more people I can share it with, and this platform gives me that. So
that's great. We wish you the best. I'm crying. And thank you for being with us and sharing our passion, your passion, which is also our passion.
Right. And I can't wait to be at the conference and really share and be in my vibe. And
well, you're going to be amazing there too. So I appreciate you being there with us. We are so grateful to have Erin with us today. She's inspiring us, and she's helping our girls to be smart, be strong, and be amazing. So we hope that you are amazing, and please remember to follow, like, and subscribe to Woman Today on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, so you don't miss a show. Thanks to the entire team at Access Framingham, especially Shavarsh Morrissey and Francesca Cerruti Harris. Thanks also to Jess Friswell, our assistant producer. I'm Jen Maseda, your host of Woman Today. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time, where we hope to inspire you.